Now you have this movie called Them on Amazon Prime, and so I looked at about at least 5 to 10 reviews on this movie. This movie is the movie of the year, hands down. The best movie you gonna see when it comes to America and what's going on in America. This the best movie. There's no other movie that's gonna compare. And the coons that's out here that's making reviews, they don't know what they talking about. They head all the way up the yin yang. And then the people, the other people that's making the movie, they totally don't got no understanding of what the heck going on. They done twisted the thing up all over the place. But we know they do that with a lot of other stuff. That's what I'm going to get into. But let's start this thing off how it's supposed to be and how you break down the movie. Now, the movie has the man with the black hat. That's the premise of the movie. This preacher or priest with the black hat. The episode that gives you all of the information is called The Covenant 2. The Covenant 2. Because this priest made a covenant with a wicked spirit because his son died. He was praying. Now God didn't hear his prayer, and the wicked spirit heard his prayer. So the wicked spirit sent him a boy that was in the bush, like Abraham. They sent a lamb in the bush, a ram in the bush, when Abraham was finna sacrifice Isaac, his son. And so it was a ram in the bush, but this ram in the bush was a little boy balled up. And it wasn't God sending this this ram in the bush, even though it was, because he gonna explain that in the movie. But it was most people would say it was God on the left hand side giving him the evil spirit, and the evil spirit was telling him to take this little boy and take care of this little boy. He not knowing that this little boy is a spirit the whole time. Because when you get to the end of the covenant, the little boy says the only way you can survive, he pulls him, the whole church catch on fire when they hang and burn the two so-called black visitors. And the little spirit little boy brings him down into the basement of the church, and he turns into all types of people. His head go to spinning, and he changing forms, and he transformed into all types of situations. And so this is what the premise of the movie. It ain't got nothing to do with no racism. You see, they want to throw in the racism. Yeah, racism is in the movie, but when you get this part of the movie, now you understand the nucleus of the movie. Everything is dictated off of this. Because just because this family, when they was in North Carolina, had a tragic situation where the lady was raped and their child was murdered by these peoples that was in North Carolina, that didn't they had got over that. The guy had got over that. They went to college, he had went to school and became an engineer. And so they had got over that. The lady had still had the baby in the box. She dug up the baby, put him in the box. But pretty much they had got over that, and they was moving on with their life. And it traumatized them and everything, but it wasn't to the point that all of these things gonna start happening. See, what was happening was that this dude made a covenant with the evil spirit, and the covenant was, I'm gonna harass these people that come in this neighborhood because that's where they was at. He was in by the guy, the two travelers that was burnt and hung. They was trying to go to Sacramento, you see, but they was in the Compton area. And so this same place where this so-called priest with the black hat had made the covenant, that's where the black couple moved to. And they moved to the same place where the church was built. They just built on top of this place where the man made the covenant. I think episode 9 or something like that, or maybe episode 8. And so that's the premise of the movie. Not all this other stuff about racism and the people moving to the neighborhood with the people with all that. All that didn't have nothing to do with it. You see? So once you understand that part, now you understand the movie much clearer. You ain't getting caught up in all of these other little things about the movie, because he creates all of the drama in the movie. He's creating everything in the movie because the spirit has gave him power to harass people. His job is to harass people so he can live and keep living. Because it was like the spirit, the evil spirit had told him that they would give him eternal life or something. He would have immortality if he keep harassing these people and bringing drama to their life. And so he was doing it in the town and in that area so bad that all of the black women that was around that area was going crazy. They was killing their families. You see, they was killing their families, and they was going into the crazy house. So this lady, she, had her child dug up out of the grave and was holding it. So when the police showed up, they sent her to the place where they was sending all the other black women, so-called black women. You see? And so it was all stemming from the man, the priest with the black hat. So the lady, once she got to the crazy house, and even before she got to the crazy house, people was telling her that it's a man with a black hat that's causing them to do stuff. Because she went to one neighbor's house, and the neighbor husband had the legs cut off due to the military, supposedly. And the two sons wasn't nowhere on the scene, and she went in the kitchen and blood was all over the place. The lady had unscratched her arms up, and she was talking about the man with the black hat, the priest in the black hat. So she researched another lady that killed her husband and son, and she goes and finds this lady at the crazy house before she made it to the crazy house, and the lady said, "Yeah, man, a spirit was making me do it. He was saying that I needed to cleanse my family, and he told the man in the black hat told me this and that." So everything stemmed off the man, the priest in the black hat. He was the devil of the movie. He was being controlled by the evil spirit, and he made a covenant with the evil spirit to harass these people. But see, that's what the people trying to hide about this movie. They don't want to let people know what the movie is about. Then, not only that, the evil spirit pulled out Leviticus chapter 25. When it pulled out Leviticus chapter 25, it told them that they got to enslave these people. You see, because the Leviticus 25 was telling the Israelites that all of the other heathens that wasn't Israelites, they can keep them as slaves. They can have them as slaves. So these people that was in the church with the priest with the black hat, he's saying, I wanna. The little demon evil spirit gave him the Bible to that verse, and he read it in front of everybody. And they said, okay, that's a good idea. We need to put these people to work. They can do all our work for us. So that's how that situation started. But that's more too going along with the theme of the movie. Because at the end, when she went down there in the basement to confront him, he said the same thing he said to those that the lady, when he was arguing with the lady when he was in the country town before he died, telling them that God has cursed them. You see, they was under a curse, and he used the word Africans. He said God put the Africans under a curse to serve everybody else. See, they knew what was going on, and they was digging into the Bible and that thing. And then when you get to the end in episode 10, it talks about how he repeated it. He said, y'all under a curse. And then the lady say, that ain't in no book that I read. You see? That's what the movie was about, man. It was about these people, this dude harassing this family, and the black women destroying the whole family. First he get the black women into their mind, and she destroyed the rest of the family. And the people that was under a part of this family, all of them was being harassed by them because that's where the church was at. That's where the basement that he was at, where the church was built on. So he had the girl, she had a demon following her, or a spirit following her. The oldest girl, the 14-year-old girl, trying to convince her that she should be white and not like her mama. The little girl had a teacher following her and scratching her on the neck and, harassing her at night, telling her that, the mother ain't right and she need to, listen to her. Then you had the daddy. He had a demon or evil spirit following him and telling him he need to be violent. He need to do something because he always ain't on the scene where he need to be. He always get missing when the family need him. So that's what the movie was about. This man harassing these people and pretty much possessing the people. Demon possession. Kind of like Poltergeist with that preacher. And so these people want to talk about racism. Racism was in the movie, yeah, but it was more on why was the racism going on? Why was this situation so drastic? Because this preacher was dealing in the spirit world, and he was causing all the drama because he got power to mess with people. He got power to make them hallucinate, see stuff that ain't there. The little girl, she was at school and the spirit had took her to see somebody having sex, and then the people looked up and heard her talking to the spirit, and they chased her out of there. Then she went and hid in the closet, and she thought she was hanging with some little girl. The janitor come in the closet, and she by herself. So the little girl wasn't no girl at the schoolhouse. She was a spirit. She was an evil spirit that the preacher man had put on the little girl because she in the house. And so that's what the movie was about. They just put the racism in there to pretty much cloud it up so it won't be just focused on this preacher, and making it seem like it's a poltergeist movie, horror flick. That just put some spice in the movie. There's racism going on in the 50s, which it was. It was redlining. They were doing the Jim Crow era, the redlining of the housing market, and they running scams with the housing market, and all of that was going on. But that wasn't the premise of the movie. That wasn't what was dictating what was going on in the movie. Racism. That had nothing to do with it. That just was what was going on in the movie, because that's the reality of, of that area and at that time. But the movie was mainly about this priest with the black hat, and he was dictating what was going on with the family and with the black women in around his area. And it has a deeper meaning. The deeper meaning is also Christianity and the white preacher doctrine that these black women are accepting, and they destroying their families by believing this doctrine. See, doctrine of devils. She called him a white devil when she was down there. The lady who they hung and burnt, she called them devils, and she said, "I'll put a curse on y'all." And she the one had the whole city burned down off of her saying, "I put a curse on y'all," after they burnt their eyeballs out. So that's what the situation was about. You see, it was about the black women and these white pastors' doctrine. Because the doctrine was messing with their mind. See, the doctrine messing with their mind is white Jesus. See, white Jesus and the Christianity doctrine messing with the black women mind, making them destroy their families and go crazy. Once the black woman go crazy, the children gonna go crazy, the husband gonna go crazy. It's gonna be a snowball effect. And it's like it's so powerful that it's like a spirit is on these women. Like these women are possessed. And that's what they are. Because that's a part of the curse that was put on the Israelites in the Bible. When you go to Deuteronomy 28, it tells you. And that's why she was raped in the beginning of the movie. That was a part of the punishment, the curses. The babies was killed. You see? That was part of the curses. Terror. They was being terrorized. That was part of the curses. So it all goes back to the curses of the Israelites, and the preacher brought the situation out drastically. But the blind cannot see what's going on in this movie. It's a simple movie. It's not that complicated. You see, but so the priest in the black hat is the main character, I would say, in the movie, and he is the one that's gonna give you the understanding of the movie. Because these other people with their reviews is straight insanity. They talking all around the world about stuff that ain't got. That's not the premise of the movie. That's not the theme of the movie. But yeah, that's my take on the them. It's really about these Israelites having a curse on them, and he brought it out. He told you straight out the Bible, man. You see, but I'm gonna make another review. I just want to throw this out there.